How can I be assured that my pets will be well cared for after I'm gone?
Speaking as a dog mom myself, it's very important to me that I am providing for my animals in the event that my husband and I pass while we still have our four-legged family members. So there's different ways you can provide for your pets after your passing. Number one, within your will, you can create a specific device where you're specifically stating that a specific person or persons or entity will receive all animals in your possession after your passing to care for. Now, another methodology, which is preferred by many persons that are far more detailed in how their pets should be cared for and provided for, is to create a pet trust. By creating a pet trust, you're going to name out a trustee who is going to care for the animal. And in caring for the animal, you can detail within your pet trust how the funds should be used. You want to make sure, for example, that your pet is groomed every 6 weeks. You want to make sure that your pet is going to the vet 3 times a year, teeth cleaning twice a year, goes to doggy day camp 5 days a week. The beauty of the pet trust is you can detail a specific schedule or expectation. Lastly, you could partner with certain charitable organizations that have established programs to address this very concern, much like Paul's Atlanta has their pet legacy program.
What happens if I don't provide for my pets in my estate plan?
If you don't provide for your pets in your estate plan, you are exposing them to much risk. What type of risk am I talking about? Number one, you're not going to have a detailed plan of how they're going to be cared for after your passing. They may go to a friend that's going to care for them, or they may be taken to the SPCA, or they may be put down. So you've got to be very specific within your estate plan as to how you want to provide for your pets. Now, as an example that I very often give is when I was a young attorney working at a tax and estate planning law firm up in Metro Detroit, we had one client, this wonderful older woman who had a small Shih Tzu, and she carried that Shih Tzu everywhere. She brought it to our office. If there was a family event, she was taking the dog to the family event. Essentially, she doted over this dog as though it was a child. And many of the children used to joke that that was the newest sibling. Well, within her estate plan, she never addressed the dog. As such, when she passed, there was no plan for how the dog would be handled and cared for. I think that in her heart of hearts, she just naturally assumed that her children would care for this animal because they knew how much this dog meant to her, and she just naturally assumed they would care for the animal. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. We had a multitude of excuses. One child said I travel too much. Another child referenced, well, I can't take the dog. I rent. There's no dogs allowed in this property. Then the third one was, I'm sorry, my kid's got allergies. Well, what ended up happening in the specific case is that dog, who was grieving, as we all know our animals grieve upon our passing, ended up being ripped out of the home, taken to the SPCA. Basically, now this dog is mourning the loss of their owner in a strange environment that they're unfamiliar with. And oh yeah, up in Detroit, they have kill shelters. I'll be honest, I couldn't follow the story all the way to it. My heart was broken because up in Detroit, after a term of weeks, if the dogs aren't adopted, they're euthanized. And no dog that is grieving in a strange environment and scared is going to be the one that's going to catch the attention of the people that are coming in to look for a new animal and a new pet. So all I emphasize is what happens if I don't provide for my pets in my estate plan? High risk. And it could lead to your loyal friend being put in a horrible situation, like being placed into a potential kill shelter, euthanized, or etc. And that's why it is so important that you do provide for your pets in your estate plan and you do have a plan.